Wow, you guys really love buying this car. The Mitsubishi Outlander has always been super popular with Kiwis for the value it offers, but with a new model on the market, it has become recently the most popular passenger car in the country. Now, some of that is because there's an old model being sold out and the new model is coming here, but it has proven super popular. So why, and why particularly, is it so popular with fleets? Welcome to Fleet Talk, and this is the Mitsubishi Outlander. Now, Mitsubishi have really moved forward with the look of the Outlander in this generation, but it does follow recent Mitsubishi launches like the Triton and the Eclipse Cross. We've got this huge big chrome kind of framed grille up here, this big plastic panel. On this XLS you have 20-inch wheels, which are going to mean higher tyre costs, and I do think it does impact the ride. Now, personally, I don't think the rear end design looks quite as sharp, but that's my personal opinion. What it does have though is roof rails, and Mitsubishi does have options ready to go. And can I commend Mitsubishi for having their accessories and the prices for their accessories on their website. There can have a tow bar on the back of the car. There isn't one on this one. It does have a relatively modest though 1600 kilogram brake tow rating. This is probably not the car to buy if you have a really large boat. The boot is a great size with the third row down at 651 litres. And here's what it looks like with a full sieve luggage in there. With the third row up, things are a lot more tight. Mitsubishi describes the third row as occasional, and really it's for kids, not adults. But I do like the space efficient design of the seat, and that it's really easy to put up and down from the back of the car. Rear seat space is decent. Even the middle section is not too small, and it does slide, it folds. You've got a centre section that folds down here to be a armrest and cup holder. There are vents in the back, which is great, and an extra zone for climate control, but there are no USB ports. I do believe that is due to the chip shortage, and I'm hoping that they will come back to the model in the near future. The cabin of the Outlander does not feel like a $49,990 car. In this XLS we've got lovely kind of leather and suede trim on the seats and leather on the centre console, steering wheel, and it's all really nice and soft. All the touch points are lovely and soft and comfortable. A really great attention to detail for a car in this segment of the market. Now we have a great big infotainment screen up here with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It is a big step forward over what is available currently in other Mitsubishi models. It's new software and very good, I think. And you have analog gauges with a digital screen in the middle. Now, normally these models would have a full digital dash, but with the chip shortage that is not available. I've tried both and I actually prefer what we've ended up with, though it really depends on what you get when your car is delivered. Right, let's take the Outlander for a bit of a drive. Now, throwing in so much car and so much value into the Outlander, one area I guess had to give, and if I'm honest, it's behind the wheel. This is not a sports car by any measure. It is very comfortable. The ride is soft and compliant, and it soaks up bumps reasonably well. There's a caveat on that. But overall, it's not particularly inspiring. It's a great car to drive around, cruise around in, but it's not going to be your sports car for the weekends. But then it's not supposed to be. This is a family/business SUV, and it does that perfectly adequately. It does just feel a little bit under set up for New Zealand roads. I think some of that has to do with the 20-inch wheels that are on the VRX and the XLS. I almost think the 18s on the lower models might be better, as I mentioned before. It's comfortable and soft, but just a little bit jiggly, a little bit doughy around corners. The motor, it's a 2.5 litre 4-cylinder petrol, which is a little bit rare in a market now where turbocharged engines and even hybrid engines are starting to come to the fore. But it's okay. Produces 135 kilowatts and 245 newton meters of torque. Performance is adequate. It's not unrefined or anything like that. If I put my foot down, being a CVT, it does have that little bit of a whine to it, but everything is smooth, everything works well. I do like the brakes on the XLS and the VRX. They are 18-inch discs in the front. That is huge. This thing stops very well. Very impressive. Now, when it comes to driver assistance and safety, Mitsubishi have thrown a lot at this car, and it has, of course, an ANCAP 5-star, to me, a must for any fleet vehicle. But on this VRX, and this is largely across the range, you've got things like adaptive cruise control, autonomous emergency braking. In this car, we've got a blind spot assist and lane keep, everything you can want of. There's not just about no point to list them. They all work pretty darn well. Very impressed in that area. They've also thrown a lot of airbags in this car, and you kind of have to these days, I guess, to get the ratings. So we have front airbags, side airbags, curtain airbags that go all the way to the back row, and then you've got a few other things that I haven't really seen around the place before, such as, or that commonly in this sector. So we have a center airbag in the front, we have a knee airbag for the driver. These are all great things when you're worrying about the safety of your staff and that you are meeting those health and safety needs that are out there. Now, on the environment front, the Outlander is in the neutral zone for the Clean Car discount, which is launching about now, so you won't get a penalty on it, but nor are you going to get a rebate on it either. If you do want a rebate, you should, and I think this actually applies to a lot of people when it comes to the Outlander, wait for the PHEV model, which is launching very imminently. What you're going to get with that PHEV is probably a better powertrain, ultimately I think more usable power, a quieter drivetrain too. When it's on electric mode, it'll be totally silent, and of course you reduce that fuel cost down, and that all comes with the bonus of a check of over $5,500 from the government. So there you have it, the Mitsubishi Outlander. Now, to summarise, I think we need to put the car in the context of its market. Now, there are vehicles out there that offer a better chassis, and I'm going to put in that class the Kia Sportage, the Hyundai Tucson, and a few others, particularly from the European side of the slate. Then there's cars with a better drivetrain, and that you got to look at the Skoda Kodiaq and the RAV4 Hybrid, which is just super efficient and obviously very appealing. But none of those, nothing in this class can match the Mitsubishi for two things, and that is space and value. A third row in this section of the class is very rare, and a price, bearing in mind this car as we've tested today is under $50,000, it's really hard to beat. So I think it really does need to be on your shopping list. Now, thank you for watching today. Don't forget, go to fleettalk.co.nz if you want more great news and information and reviews and insight from the fleet industry. And also, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe down below. We'll catch you next time.